Chapter 1659. Oh, I have dinner with Sister Tianxin. Lu Tingxiao ruffled her hair. I'll wait for you. Okay. After that, the two of them walked in their respective directions. Halfway through, Ningxi couldn't help but turn back to look at the backs of the two. Although Song Lin was slightly older than Lu Tingxiao, she had taken good care of herself. No one would doubt that she was a young lady in her 20s. However, the aura she exuded was not something an ordinary girl could compare to. Standing next to Lu Tingxiao, it was as if they were two kings standing side by side. That was what she had always wanted, to be able to stand side by side with Lu Tingxiao. Ningxi was watching and vaguely seemed to have heard their conversation. Boss Lu, I'm serious about what I've said today. I hope you can consider it carefully. No need. Ningxi had been absent-minded since she entered the room. Ning Tianxin saw what happened just now and asked worriedly. Xiaoxi, are you all right? Didn't Mr. Lu say it? We're talking about the company. Don't think too much. Ningxi banged her head on the table. Ouch. How can you do this? Ning Tianxin was about to persuade her when Ningxi said, My goddess and Mr. Boss are a perfect match, don't you think? Ning Tianxin was speechless. She didn't expect this at all. Ningxi sighed for a while, and then she was so excited that she wanted to roll on the ground. I feel like my idol has been snatched away. Ning Tianxin didn't know what to say. This girl wasn't worried about Lu Tingxiao being robbed, but worried about Song Lin being robbed. Perhaps it was because in this girl's subconscious, she was certain that no one could snatch Lu Tingxiao away from her. Ning Tianxin had been worried about Ningxi and Lu Tingxiao, but as time went by, she knew that Lu Tingxiao was serious about Ningxi. What moved her the most was their trust in each other. Platinum Palace. Lu Jingli rushed in as soon as Lu Tingxiao got home. On the sofa in the living room, his brother was frowning and pinching his forehead. Lu Jingli sympathized with him. The men who wanted to steal his brother's wife had evolved to such an extent. They were getting more and more vicious. Lu Jingli walked over and sighed. Brother, it's my fault. I didn't find out Song Lin's background. She hid it so well. Who would have thought that she's so open to both men and women? At this point, Lu Jingli carefully glanced at his brother and then muttered, You know, Song Lin has an extraordinary place in little Cece's heart. If this woman can't lay her hands on you, she will directly lay her hands on little Cece. I'm really afraid that little Cece won't be able to control herself. Lu Jingli shivered when he saw his brother's death stare, but he still forced himself to say, Brother, don't doubt me. I've been in the entertainment industry for a long time, so I know all too well how important an idol is to a fan. Not to mention a boyfriend. Even a husband has to step back in front of an idol at a critical moment. All in all, his brother's rival in love this time was really awesome. Chapter 1660. After dinner, Ningxi sent Ning Tianxin home and drove to the palace. Ningxi had a lot on her mind on the way. She wanted to hug Little Bun when she remembered that Little Bun was still at the mansion. Thus, Ningxi suddenly became like a sunflower without the sun. She threw herself on the sofa with her head down and head down. She didn't know how long she had been in a daze when she heard footsteps behind her. Why are you lying here? Ningxi turned around and saw Lu Tingxiao in his pajamas. He seemed to have just taken a shower. Looking up and down at the handsome man in front of her, Ningxi suddenly puffed her cheeks and showed a dissatisfied expression. Lu Tingxiao sat down next to her. Something's on your mind? Ningxi nodded. Yeah. Lu Tingxiao asked, because of Song Lin? Ningxi nodded again. Yeah. Lu Tingxiao deliberated over his words, thinking about how to broach the subject. My goddess suddenly became my rival. How am I supposed to face my goddess in the future? Ningxi complained. Ningxi and Lu Jingli had the same thought at the beginning. They both thought that Song Lin liked Lu Tingxiao. Hearing this, Lu Tingxiao. Honey, you're thinking too much. Song Lin isn't your rival. She's mine. Ningxi didn't notice Lu Tingxiao's strange expression. She was still feeling sad. But this person was Song Lin, the idol she had always admired. Even she felt that Song Lin was almost perfect and more compatible with Lu Tingxiao than her. Lu Tingxiao sighed when he saw the girl's hesitation. He didn't tell Ningxi the truth. After all, Song Lin was Ningxi's idol. He didn't want to ruin Ningxi's pure and beautiful relationship. Lu Tingxiao said. It's good that you know. So you better not get too close to Song Lin in the future. Ningxi felt that Lu Tingxiao was right. She nodded. I know. After all, their relationship was too awkward. Lu Tingxiao hugged the little girl's frosty eggplant head on his shoulder and continued to coax her. From today onwards, try to avoid being alone with Song Lin, understand? Ningxi, okay. Lu Tingxiao continued. Don't accept her invitation after 10 p.m. Ningxi. Oh, Lu Tingxiao. Keep your distance and avoid any physical contact. The corners of Ningxi's mouth twitched slightly. The first two are understandable, but why is this one? We're all women, isn't it normal for us to hug each other? To avoid any conflicts, Lu Tingxiao casually explained. Ningxi scratched her head. Oh, was that so? Why did she feel that there was something strange about these three requests when they were linked together? Forget it. I won't think about it anymore. Ningxi rolled into Lu Tingxiao's arms, her watery eyes full of desire. Sweetheart, I miss Little Bun. Do you have work tomorrow? Lu Tingxiao asked. Ningxi's eyes immediately lit up. No, I'm off tomorrow. Other than sending Sister Tianxin to the airport, there's nothing else. All right, I'll bring Xiaobao back tomorrow. And then, when she heard that she could see little Bao, Ningxi instantly forgot all her worries. Chapter 1661. In a private room of a bar in the capital, the woman took out a contract from her bag and put it on the tea table. Then she lit a cigarette and took a drag lazily. Tang Ye's eyes lingered on the contract for a second, and then he reached out to take it. After a quick look, he was surprised to find that the transfer of shares had been signed with a woman's name, Song Lin. Yun Shen leaned back on the sofa, holding a glass of red wine in his hand, and glanced at the signed transfer of shares. What's wrong? Miss Song, have you changed your mind? Song Lin unhurriedly spat out a mouthful of smoke. I have no reason to refuse President Yun's offer, do I? Yun Shen glanced at the woman opposite him with a faint smile. He certainly didn't believe that she sold the shares to him because of this offer. If she was really tempted by this offer, she wouldn't have waited so long. I didn't expect that. Miss Song is also interested in Mrs. Lu's position. Yun Shen's words were explicit. The implication was that Song Lin was going to use the 5% shares to fight for Lu Tingxiao, but she failed. Song Lin raised her eyebrows and said quietly, I do have something I'm interested in, but it's not Lu Tingxiao. Oh. Song Lin seemed to think of something, and her eyes suddenly lit up. President Yin, do you know the little girl beside Lu Tingxiao? Yun Shen's hand that was shaking the wine glass subconsciously paused. Ningxi. I've heard of her. Why? Song Lin tilted her head and chuckled, she's cute. The corner of Yun Shen's mouth twitched. Even Tang Ye's face darkened. Obviously, neither of them had expected to hear such an answer. Song Lin raised her eyebrows and said, President Yun can't be such a vulgar person, can he? Yun Shen's face darkened. He was not interested in Song Lin's sexual orientation, nor did he think it was strange. But the man she liked. He really didn't expect that the reason why Song Lin chose to stand on the same front with him was so incredible. He guessed that Song Lin used the 5% shares to exchange for Ningxi with Lu Tingxiao, but Lu Tingxiao refused, so she turned to him. On one hand, it was because of Lu Tingxiao's rejection. On the other hand, it was probably because he still hadn't given up. The Lu family had long wanted to unite by marriage. The greater the pressure on Lu Enterprises, the more they would urge and speed up this matter. At that time, Lu Tingxiao would marry another woman, and the two would naturally break up. After thinking for a moment, Yunshin stretched out his hand. Well, Miss Song, it's a pleasure to cooperate with you. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. There was another saying, the mantis stalks the cicada, unaware of the oriole behind. Happy cooperation. Yunshin was about to continue to talk about the details of the contract when his phone suddenly rang. Hello. Boss, we've rescued Black Dragon. Rescued? Yunshin looked surprised. Got it. I'll be right back. After answering the phone, Yunshin looked at the woman in front of him apologetically. I'm sorry. I have something urgent to deal with. I'll talk to you another day. President Yun, please do as you please. In a garden in the suburbs of Beijing. Yinshen and Tang Yi hurried back. What's going on? Who did it? Yinshen asked in a deep voice. Even Feng Xiaoxiao failed to get Black Dragon out. How did he get Black Dragon out now? Originally, he had already prepared for the worst. Because based on his understanding of Lu Tingxiao, he would never give them any chance to rescue him. Chapter 1662. The man replied hurriedly. I was patrolling at night when I suddenly found someone at the gate. I took a closer look and found that it was Black Dragon. Yinshen narrowed his eyes. You mean, Black Dragon appeared at the gate by himself? Yes. Did anyone on our side do it? The man frowned and said in a low voice. At first I thought it was one of our people, but I checked and found that after you gave the order last time, we gave up the operation. I don't think anyone would act on their own. Boss, do you think Black Dragon escaped on his own? Yinshen glanced at him unhurriedly. Ha, escaped on his own? Why don't you try to escape? The man shivered in fear and stopped talking. After all, not only had Feng Xiaoxiao failed to save the Black Dragon, she had almost been imprisoned herself. The Black Dragon had been tormented to the point where he was on his last breath. So how could he have escaped? Where is he? Yinshen asked. He's upstairs, but he's still unconscious. Inform me immediately when he wakes up. Yes. Yinshen looked at Tang Yi, who had been silent all this while. He leaned over and put his arm on Tang Yi's shoulder. Yi, what are you thinking about? Tang Yi came back to his senses and said thoughtfully. I just feel that this is very strange. It's impossible for Black Dragon to escape on his own, but it's not our people who did it either. What does this mean? Someone is helping us in the dark. Naturally, he had also thought of this. Tang Yi looked at the man who had discovered the Black Dragon. Send someone to check on Lu Tingxiao's reaction. Yes. Soon, the man on the other side sent a message. Boss Brother Yi, we've asked around. Lu Tingxiao's place was broken into by an unknown person tonight, and took away Black Dragon without leaving any traces. Lu Tingxiao's people don't know who did it. I guess they think it's our people. The man replied hurriedly. Broken by force? Yinshen said with a drawl. Tang Yi's expression changed slightly. The place where Black Dragon was imprisoned was full of traps. It didn't just require good martial arts skills. One also needed to know all kinds of ways to crack the traps and extremely rich experience. Someone who could meet all these requirements, Tang Yi said in a low voice. What we can be sure of is that someone is secretly helping us. There are two possibilities for this person's identity. The first possibility is that this person's overall strength is above Xiaoxiao's. Among the people I know, no one would suddenly help us in this matter for no reason. The second possibility is that there's a mole on Lu Tingxiao's side. That's why he was able to smoothly break in and take her away. Yinshen touched his chin. It's getting more and more interesting. Boss, the Black Dragon is awake. At this time, someone hurriedly ran over to report. In one of the rooms upstairs. When the man on the bed saw Tang Yi and Yinshen, he immediately struggled to get up. Boss Brother Yi. Tang Yi reached out and pressed on the man's shoulder. You don't have to get up. Just lie down. I just have something to ask you. Who was the person who saved you? The Black Dragon was taken aback. Didn't you send someone to save me? You didn't see the person who saved you. Tang Yi frowned. The Black Dragon tried hard to recall. I remember that I fell asleep, and then someone approached me, but I didn't have time to see who it was before I lost consciousness. When I woke up, I was already here. Chapter 1663. Tang Yi and Yinshen exchanged glances, but didn't say a word. Soon, Qiao Yi rushed over after hearing the news. What happened? Tang Yi briefly explained the situation to Qiao Yi. Qiao Yi glared at Black Dragon, who was lying on the bed. Black Dragon endured his injuries and hurriedly said, Boss Uncle Qiao, don't worry. I only gave them some insignificant information. They tried so hard to find out about our underground trading channels. Luckily, I was rescued tonight. Otherwise, I'm afraid I wouldn't have been able to hold on. They couldn't be blamed for being so nervous. Black Dragon was in Lu Tingxiao's hands, and the situation was already tense. If they weren't careful, They would lose everything. If their channels were exposed, all the underground trading would stop, and the losses would be devastating. If they didn't stop taking risks, they would be caught red-handed by the Black Cats. As Black Dragon spoke, Feng Xiaoxiao rushed in like a whirlwind. She rolled up her sleeves and shouted, "Fuck! Who is this? Are you trying to ruin my business? Little Black. Who rescued you?" Even she, the #1 mercenary in the world of mercenaries, couldn't rescue him. How could he be rescued by someone else? If this wasn't ruining her business, what else could it be? "Sister Xiao, I was unconscious at the time, so I don't know." Black Dragon smiled bitterly. He didn't forget to comfort Feng Xiaoxiao. They might be a mole in Lu Holdings. Xiaoyi looked at Feng Xiaoxiao with a dark expression. "Xiaoxiao, from now on, you don't have to interfere with anything here. You must complete your S-rank mission within a month." Feng Xiaoxiao straightened her back and accepted the order with a tearful expression. "Yes, master. Damn it. She would rather die than get rid of that cat in a month." The next morning, at the Lu family mansion. "What did you say?" Lu Chongshan stood up angrily when he heard his subordinate's report. Yan Rui's face was also filled with anxiety. "You're saying that Song Lin sold all her shares to those people over there?" "Yes, the information is accurate. We've already verified it. Does Tingxiao know?" Lu Chongshan asked in a low voice. "President Lu is aware." "All right, you can leave." Lu Chongshan waved his hand impatiently. After his subordinate left, Lu Chongshan could no longer suppress the anger on his face. "This Song Lin, our Lu Corporation has never mistreated her all these years. How could she betray us without a second word? She betrayed us just like that. Actors are indeed heartless." "That's right." Yan Rui frowned. "I thought Song Lin was a nice person. I didn't expect." "Where's Xiao Bao? Are you up yet? We can't wait any longer." Lu Chongshan urged impatiently. Originally, when he found out that Xiao Bao was willing to try to accept those socialites and had been very cooperative during this period of time, he was very gratified. However, as time went by, he realized that although the little fellow was very serious, she was a little too serious. She had spent so much time just selecting the candidates for the preliminary selection that the tea party had yet to officially start. The situation was getting worse and worse. They really couldn't wait any longer. "Grandpa, Grandma." At this time, a soft and squishy little bun walked down from upstairs. Chapter 1664. Today Little Bun was dressed extremely adorably. His cheeks were rosy, and he called out "Grandpa" and "Grandma" in a childish voice. It was enough to melt people's hearts. Even if he asked them to pluck the stars from the sky, they would definitely pluck them for him without hesitation. "Hey Xiaobao, come to Grandpa." Lu Chongshan's face was full of anger just now, but when he saw his precious grandson, he immediately smiled. "Hug Grandpa." The little boy enthusiastically opened his short arms and walked toward his grandfather. Lu Chongshan was so happy that he didn't know what to do. He quickly hugged the little boy in his arms. Okay, Grandpa, hug." "Grandpa, Papa will come to take Xiaobao home later. Xiaobao hasn't been with Papa for a long time. But don't worry, Grandpa, Xiaobao will come back soon to accompany Grandpa. Grandpa, don't miss Xiaobao too much." The little boy coaxed him as if he was coaxing a child, acting like a little adult. Lu Chongshan was extremely comforted. Okay, my Xiaobao is so obedient and filial." Yan Rui was speechless as she looked at her husband's sudden change in attitude. She coughed lightly to remind him. Who was the one who was so anxious just now? But as soon as he saw Xiaobao, he forgot everything. Lu Chongshan finally reacted and coughed slightly awkwardly. He then looked at his precious grandson and asked in an extremely gentle tone, "Xiaobao, have you chosen the name list? You have to make a decision within this month." Xiaobao rolled his eyes. He knew that this was the best he could do, and it was time to move on to the next step. Thus he nodded decisively. "Okay, Grandpa, Xiaobao will definitely do it as soon as possible. It will be done in a few days." Lu Chongshan immediately let out a long sigh of relief. That's good. Sigh, his precious grandson was indeed the most obedient and considerate. Xiaobao went to Grandma again, and held her hand. He asked seriously, "Grandma, what kind of daughter-in-law do you like?" Xiaobao will help you choose a daughter-in-law who is the most obedient, sensible, and filial like Xiaobao. Take care of grandma together with Xiaobao and be filial to grandma. Hearing this, Yanrui was so touched that she didn't know what to do. Xiaobao is so obedient. Thank you, my good grandson. Yanrui and Lu Chongshan were chatting happily with their grandson. When Lu Chongshan saw his son walking in from the corner of his eyes, his face immediately darkened. Lu Chongshan, coming. Lu Tingxiao glanced at his son, who had managed to coax his parents into submission. Okay, I'm here to pick up Xiaobao. Lu Chongshan's expression turned even worse. How could he not know that he was picking up Xiaobao to meet that woman? He just didn't want to make Xiaobao unhappy. You know about what happened to Song Lin? Lu Chongshan asked in a deep voice. I know. Lu Tingxiao's face was expressionless. Lu Chongshan felt as if he had punched cotton. Because he didn't want to talk about this in front of Xiaobao to avoid a quarrel, he didn't continue in the end. Go on, take care. Goodbye, Grandpa. Goodbye, Grandma. All right. Goodbye, little treasure. Be careful on the road. After getting in the car, Xiaobao immediately switched from a cute and obedient grandson to a noble and elegant state. Where's Mom? Without a doubt, the first thing he asked was his mother. She's at your aunt's place. We'll send her off at the airport later, Lu Tingxiao answered. Yes. Little Bun nodded and didn't say anything else. She buried her head and fiddled with her phone. Who knew what she was fiddling with? Chapter 1665. At the Mo residence. Mo Lingtian was sleeping soundly when he was woken up by the ringing of his phone. He was furious. Who is it? Do you want to die so early in the morning? Fuck. Mo Lingtian, I'm getting married today. Didn't you say you were going to pick up the bride with your brother? Look at the time. A man's angry voice came from the other end of the phone. Mo Lingtian was stunned. He mumbled in a daze. Pick up the bride? Fuck. Don't tell me you forgot? Mo Lingtian, what's wrong with you recently? You're always absent-minded. You don't come to gatherings or group activities. How can you forget such a big event as my wedding? Stop yelling. I'll be there soon. I'm hanging up. Mo Lingtian hung up the phone. He rubbed his messy hair irritably. He quickly changed his clothes and washed up. Then he rushed downstairs like a gust of wind. In the living room, Mo Jianzhang and Kang Shuhui were having breakfast. Mo Lingtian took a piece of toast. Dad, Mom, I'm not eating breakfast. I have something urgent to do. I have to go now. Kang Shuhui frowned and stopped him. At least eat a few mouthfuls. Where are you going so early in the morning? How's his wedding? Mo Lingtian answered casually. Oh, that's right. That kid from the Zhua family is getting married today. Kang Shuhui suddenly remembered. She mumbled in a daze. After a while, she came back to her senses. Then go quickly. Don't be late. Okay. Mo Lingtian answered in a muffled voice and hurried out. When he reached the door, Mo Lingtian's face immediately darkened. In the past, his parents would take turns to nag him for 3 days and 3 nights even if his friends found a girlfriend. They would urge him to find a girlfriend and force him to get married, let alone get married. However, ever since that incident, they never mentioned asking him to find a girlfriend or urging him to get married again. He had never had such peace since he was 20 years old. He was so unaccustomed to it. A woman's murmur appeared in his mind. Lingtian, this is the last thing I can do for you. He knew he owed her too much. However, self-blame and guilt were not love. Mo Lingtian wiped his face and wiped away the messy thoughts in his mind. He started the engine. Imperial Capital Airport. Ningxi hugged the girl in front of her reluctantly. Sister Tianxin, I can't bear to part with you. I'll keep in touch with you. Remember to take good care of yourself. If you need any help, you must tell me. Got it. Also, remember to take the medicine that Annie prescribed for you. Also, the security in foreign countries is not as good as in China. Be especially careful. Don't go out alone at night. Also, seeing that Ningxi didn't stop talking, someone said helplessly, Come on, I'm here. Do you have to worry so much? I guarantee that I will properly settle Tianxin down. You can rest assured. Ningxi hugged Ning Tianxin and glared at Qin Mufeng. You're the one I'm most worried about. Qin Mufeng looked innocently at Lu Tingxiao for help. Lu Tingxiao put his arm around Ningxi's shoulder and patted her reassuringly. Okay, good girl. We don't have much time. Mufeng is very familiar with the airport. I'll ask the assistant of the branch company to pick him up. There won't be any problem. Oh. Ningxi finally let go of Ning Tianxin reluctantly. Sister Tianxin, goodbye. Xiaobao, come say goodbye to your aunt. Chapter 1666. Xiaobao walked up to her obediently and said, Auntie, this is the present I prepared for you. The little boy gave her a parting gift. It was a portrait of Ning Tianxin that he had drawn based on the photo his mother had sent him. He even framed it. The little boy rarely drew portraits other than his mama. It was obvious that he liked his aunt very much. Ning Tianxin took it and looked at the little boy with a gentle expression. She squatted down and hugged him. Thank you, Xiaobao. I like it very much. The little boy's body was soft and had a milky fragrance. It made one's eyes water. Ning Tianxin quickly let go of the little boy. Xiaoxi, I'm leaving. You should go back now. Okay, take care. Ningxi was a little disappointed after seeing Ning Tianxin off. Xiaobao saw his mother was sad and immediately comforted her. Mom, don't be sad. All good things must come to an end. I believe that Auntie will have a new and better start. Ningxi looked at her baby son and smiled. Yes, Xiaobao is right. Qin Mufeng said he was going to China on a business trip. He could go with Ning Tianxin and take care of her on the way. He had already told Ningxi his intentions towards Ning Tianxin, so Ningxi knew that he had an ulterior motive. However, she didn't know if they could be together in the end. If it was possible, Qin Mufeng was indeed a good partner. In the distance, the plane roared as it rose into the sky, gradually moving further and further away until it disappeared. Ningxi finally looked away and sent a message to her friend circle. All good things must come to an end. My dear sweetheart, I believe that you will have a new and better start. In a high-end villa area in the capital, a lively wedding was going on. A group of people were laughing and joking. The atmosphere was very warm. Don't go in. Don't go in. Where's the red packet? Give me the red packet. No. It's not enough. Do 100 push-ups first. Wow, you guys are cheating. How can you do 10 push-ups each? Mo Lingtian followed the groomsmen and mingled with the crowd. From time to time, he would come up with some bad ideas. After struggling for a long time, he finally helped his brother enter the door smoothly. Zhuohaoren was one of the libertines in their circle. Usually he was very playful. At this moment, looking at his wife, he smiled like a fool and clumsily helped the girl put on her shoes. Mo Lingtian stood leaning against the wall, quietly watching the scene in front of him. At this moment it was so lively, but somehow his heart felt empty. His phone rang from time to time. He casually opened his WeChat moments and scrolled through it. It was all his friends' blessings for Zhuohaoren's wedding, and he casually gave them a few likes. As he continued to scroll down, Mo Lingtian's expression froze in an instant. She devil. All good things must come to an end. My dear sweetheart, may you have a new beginning. She-devil was his remark for Ningxi. Sweetheart? Seeing this word and the meaning of this sentence, Mo Lingtian's expression became inexplicably tense. He hurriedly clicked on the photo below. The accompanying picture was a picture. In the picture, there was an exquisitely framed portrait of a person with a bright and exaggerated style. However, based on the features of the portrait, it was easy to recognize that the person was Ning Tianxin. Chapter 1667. Mo Lingtian looked at the message and the picture on the phone over and over again. Judging from the style of the picture, it was drawn by Xiaobao. The person in the picture should be Ning Tianxin. All good things must come to an end. What did it mean? At this time, he noticed that Ningxi's current location showed that she was at the capital airport. After seeing the location clearly, Mo Lingtian's fingers trembled slightly. Before his brain could react, his body had already rushed out. Hey, Mo Lingtian, where are you going? Where is this guy going? I don't know. All the voices disappeared behind him. Emo Lingtian went downstairs and got into the car as fast as he could. Sitting in the driver's seat, Emo Lingtian glanced at the message from the corner of his eyes again. Just as he was about to start the engine, his expression froze and he suddenly stopped all his movements. Ningxi's status was posted an hour ago. This meant she might have left long ago. Even if she hadn't left, it would take at least 2 hours to get to the airport during the morning rush hour. No matter what, he couldn't make it in time. For a moment, Emo Lingtian felt as if he had suddenly fallen from a high cliff. The feeling of weightlessness and dizziness engulfed him in an instant. He didn't know how much time had passed, but he was still leaning against the steering wheel with his phone in his hand. The place where his heartbeat seemed to have been hollowed out, and the cold wind whistled through it. It seemed that he didn't realize until this moment that the girl who always stayed in the same place no matter when he turned around had really left his life. After leaving the airport, Ningxi was still thinking about Ning Tianxin. Sweetheart, let me ask you, what kind of person is Qin Mufeng? Is he reliable? He has a good personality. His private life is simple. His family environment and parents are tolerant and open-minded. Lu Tingxiao's simple words contained all the things that Ningxi cared about. Ningxi's expression softened a little. I hope this guy can work hard. I don't know how good he is at flirting with girls, but he is a psychology major. If he can't do it, let him ask me. I'll teach him. As long as it's not Emo Cha-Cha. As long as he treats my sister Tianxin sincerely, I'll help him unconditionally. Lu Tingxiao didn't know whether to laugh or cry. She was even more anxious than Qin Mufeng. This kind of thing can't be rushed. Your sister needs to think it through herself. I know. Ningxi sighed. She couldn't be blamed for being so anxious. It was because she knew Ning Tianxin's personality too well. With her personality, the last thing she wanted was to bring trouble to others. The better the person treated her, the more she would do that. She was afraid that she would really choose to be alone for the rest of her life. It wasn't easy for her to come out and meet up with Little Bun. Ningxi tried her best to raise her spirits. Baby, where do you want to go to play today? Mom, can we go to the amusement park? Of course. In this aspect, Little Bun was exactly like an ordinary child. Whenever she had time, she would let her take her to various places where other children played. She even took her to KFC once. The reason was because she saw that other children liked to go there. Little Bun gradually blended into the crowd and became like an ordinary child. Ningxi was naturally the happiest. The family of 3 played for a whole day and then happily returned home with great satisfaction. Mommy, can we go up to the roof and look at the stars? After reaching home, Little Bun suddenly raised his little head, his eyes abnormally bright as he requested, Mommy, can we go to the roof and look at the stars? Chapter 1668. Ningxi chuckled and rubbed the little guy's head. Okay. Then she took the Little Bun to the roof. Lu Tingxiao followed behind him and looked at his son thoughtfully. When they reached the roof, Ningxi looked up at the sky and said regretfully, It's a pity that we can't see so many stars in the capital. I'll take you to the Peach Blossom Land next time. The Little Bun looked at his mother with satisfaction. Mom, it's okay. We can see something else. Ningxi blinked in confusion. Something else? What? The Little Bun pursed his lips and pointed to the sky. This. Ningxi looked in the direction of Little Bun's finger and saw a flash in front of her eyes. A cluster of flames rose vertically from the horizon and then exploded in the air with a bang. Then, dazzling fireworks exploded and turned into a few words at the same time. Lu Jingli, who was tasting wine on the balcony next door, and Jiang Mai, who was playing games in the villa behind, heard a sudden bang. Then they saw the dazzling fireworks in the sky, which formed 3 words. I love you. Jiang Mai's face darkened as he looked at the 3 words. His hand trembled, and the game character on the screen died tragically. Fuck. Lu Jingli crawled up from the ground, leaned on the railing, and looked up at the sky. Fuck. Can't you do it? You're an old couple, and you're still showing off your love. Can't you let me rest for a few days? My heart is full of holes. Just as Lu Jingli was spouting off non-stop, there was another explosion, followed by 2 big fireworks in the sky. Mom. I love you, Mom. Lu Jingli suddenly froze in place, dumbfounded. He thought it was his brother who was playing romantic, but it turned out to be Xiaobao. My little bun. How old was he? This damn child was simply too amazing. So what if he looked good? Jiang Mai looked at the words, "I love your mom," and "I love you, mom," and 10 miles of spring breeze is not as good as mom, outside the window. So he was only a little bun away from his wife? This godlike assist was enough to make him kneel. Compared to Lu Jingli and Jiang Mai, the one with the most complicated feelings was a certain great demon king. In the morning, he had already discovered that the little fellow was secretly preparing something, but he didn't expect it to be this son. Do you know you stole your father's job? However, the little fellow did remind him that as time went by, the two of them became more and more compatible and tacit. So much so that the way they interacted with each other became more and more like an old couple. In addition, he really wasn't good at this aspect, so it did lack a bit of passion and romance. Although his son did not inherit these skills from him, he did inherit a lot of romantic genes from Ningxi. Wow, these are... Ningxi hadn't recovered yet, and her face was full of surprise. Even if her flirting skills were top-notch and she was familiar with all kinds of tricks, Ningxi was still as excited as a young girl. "Xiaobao, did you prepare this for mommy?" Xiaobao nodded shyly, with a hint of nervousness and anticipation in his eyes. "Mom, the books say that girls need romance. Mom, do you like it?" Ningxi's response was to hug Little Bun and kiss him fiercely. "Ah, I love it." Chapter 1669. Ding. Ding. Ningxi received 2 messages on her phone. "Dirty Demon King, fuck, I'm moving. See you. Koi Prince, woof." Ningxi burst out laughing. After watching the fireworks, Ningxi reluctantly sent Xiaobao back to the old mansion with Lu Tingxiao. They returned to the palace. Lu Tingxiao took out a square black velvet gift box from his pocket and handed it to her. Ningxi blinked. "What is it?" "A gift," Lu Tingxiao replied. Ningxi took it and asked suspiciously, "It's not a holiday. Why are you giving me a gift? Do I need a reason?" Lu Tingxiao raised an eyebrow. He looked like an overbearing CEO. Ningxi chuckled and opened the box. The next second, she was almost blinded. Oh my! Lu Tingxiao had given her a diamond necklace. It seemed to be the newest model from TFN called Full Sky of Stars. It was indeed as its name suggested. It was too dazzling. Ningxi looked at the sparkling diamond necklace with an indescribable expression. "What's wrong?" Lu Tingxiao asked. "Sweetheart, you like diamonds?" She was shocked that he had the same hobby as a certain someone. Lu Tingxiao replied unhurriedly, "I don't like diamonds. I just like how it looks on you." Fuck. Ningxi was instantly shot by an arrow with a small heart. Pooh. Her sweetheart was amazing. He could turn something rotten into something magical with just one sentence. Ningxi leaned over and kissed the man's cheek. "Thank you. Put it on for me." Lu Tingxiao picked up the necklace and put it on her neck. "Does it look good?" Ningxi's accessories were mostly jade. She rarely wore diamonds because she was sick of looking at them. However, she felt that the diamond necklace was beautiful. No wonder women like diamonds. Lu Tingxiao hugged her waist and said, "Give me some time, Xiaoxi. Trust me, I'll take care of everything. The tea party will probably be held in a few days, but Xiaobao will be able to stall for enough time for me to settle everything." Lu Tingxiao calmly comforted her. I believe you," Ningxi said with a complicated expression. However, she didn't know what Lu Tingxiao was going to do and how far he would go. Moreover, the other side was definitely not easy to deal with. If he was forced into a corner, moreover, that person had done her a favor. If it really reached the point where her life was at stake, she might not be able to continue staying out of it. Lu Tingxiao seemed to have noticed her worry. He stroked her hair and said, "The Lu family has a rule that forbids brothers from killing each other." Hearing this, Ningxi was instantly moved. She knew what Lu Tingxiao meant. He meant that if it really came to that, no matter what the other party would do, he would not kill them. Not only because of the Lu family's rules, but also because of her. Because he was afraid that she would be put in a difficult position. "Lu Tingxiao, thank you." Lu Tingxiao raised his eyebrows. Are you sure that's what you want to say? Ningxi chuckled, jumped up and kissed the man's lower lip. All right, it should be. I love you. Chapter 1670. These days, Ningxi took advantage of the free time she had after finishing the filming. Every day, she would make time to carefully prepare nutritious and delicious lunches for Xiaobao to bring to school. During this period of time, Xiaobao had been working too hard. It was clearly an adult matter, but he, a child, had to deal with it. Hopefully, it would all end soon. In the blink of an eye, 3 days passed. The entire Lu family was mobilized, and the socialite tea party, that had been prepared for a long time, finally began. In order to welcome the young ladies, the entire old mansion had been renovated. It was quaint and quiet, yet exquisite and grand. There were all kinds of luxury cars parked at the entrance, and the well-dressed young ladies were competing with each other for beauty. There were all kinds of styles, dazzling the eyes of the onlookers. How could Lu Jingli not come to gossip on such a grand day? No, he came to stare. At this moment, looking at the exaggerated scene in front of him, Lu Jingli had goosebumps. Sigh, it was fortunate that his brother was in front of him. Otherwise, all of this would have fallen on his head. Jingli, what are you standing there for? Hurry up and pick up Xiaobao from school. Scum. Also, don't stay out of this. Today you should also look around and see if there are any girls that you like. Mom, what did you say? The wind is too strong, I can't hear. Lu Jingli exaggeratedly stretched out his voice and disappeared like a wisp of smoke. Behind him, Yanrui helplessly glared at her son. Forget it, she had to deal with things one at a time. Right now, the most important thing was to settle the matter with Tingxiao. Auntie Lu, why don't I see Xiaobao? A clever girl had already come up to her. Xiaobao is still at school. Jingli has already gone to pick him up. Everyone wait a moment. Let's go to the courtyard to drink some tea. Is that so? It's okay. Studying is more important. Soon, Xiaobao was picked up by Lu Jingli. Although it wasn't the first time the socialites had seen Xiaobao, when they saw that the little fellow looked exactly the same as Lu Tingxiao, they were still stunned by his cuteness. Even if they knew that Lu Tingxiao had a son with an unlucky mother, and that he would be a stepmother after marrying over, they couldn't help but like such a cute Shota. The little prince is so cute. If I could have such a cute and adorable son, I would smile even in my dreams. I heard that the little prince is actually quite easy to get along with. When Lu Jingli saw that all the girls were deceived by Xiaobao's adorable appearance, the corner of his mouth twitched as he muttered, "Tsk tisk, stupid humans. You'll be crying later." Little Bun was very efficient. As soon as he came back, he held the thick list of candidates that he had prepared over the past few days and said to his grandparents, "Grandpa, Grandma, we can begin. You just got home. Don't you need to rest for a while?" Lu Chongshan's heart ached. "There's no need, Grandpa. Little Bao isn't tired. Getting down to business is more important." Little Bun had a serious expression. Lu Chongshan nodded with a gratified expression. "All right, I'll listen to Xiaobao. Let's begin. Are the rules still as we discussed before?" Xiaobao nodded. "Yes, I'll set the questions. The questions vary from person to person, and I'll set them according to the situation on the spot. Those who pass can stay and move on to the next round." "All right." Lu Chongshan quickly called the butler over and asked him to inform everyone that they could begin. Chapter 1671. Outside in the courtyard, the socialites who were chatting and drinking tea were all given number plates, and those whose number plate was called could enter. The butler tactfully said that everyone could hold on to these signs and play some games later, such as a lucky draw or something. However, everyone was well aware of what these signs were really for. Sigh, I'm so nervous. I wonder how the Lu family is going to test me. My family tried all means to find out for me, trying to get the questions, but they didn't find anything. They only know that the questions are set by the Crown Prince, but they don't know what the questions are. Of course, the Crown Prince is a genius, and his thinking is different from ordinary people. The questions must be especially difficult. The tragedy is that I didn't do well in school, and I've been cramming. What's the use of cramming? The Crown Prince knows everything about music, chess, calligraphy, astronomy, and geography. Who knows what he's going to test on? The scope is too wide. The education that these socialites had received since they were young focused on cultivating their character, and some flashy things. If the Crown Prince were to test them on things like physics, mathematics, and chemistry, they really couldn't do anything. These things couldn't be learned in a short period of time. Listening to the discussions around her, Qi Yingying snorted mockingly. Isn't it too late to make a last-minute effort at a time like this? Qi Yingying had always been arrogant, and everyone was a little afraid of her. Although they were dissatisfied with her mockery, they could only complain secretly. However, Qi Yingying was a Harvard graduate, and they had to admit that she was a talented woman. What's there to be arrogant about? Although she has a higher chance of winning compared to us, don't forget that there's still the Guan family. The Guan family has connections with Lu Chongyuan, and they're on good terms with the Lu family. I'm afraid they've already decided on her, and we're just going through the motions. That's right. But, even if there's only a glimmer of hope, we still have to give it a try. After all, that was the position that all women dreamed of for a long time. Number 1, Miss Qi, please come in. The butler had already started calling out numbers, and everyone was so nervous that they fell silent. That's right, the first one was Qi Yingying. Because of this, everyone was even more nervous. If Qi Yingying performed well, they wouldn't have a chance, and they would have prepared for nothing. In the house, Xiaobao sat on the sofa, while Lu Chongshan and Yan Rui sat opposite him. Lu Jingli was afraid that Yan Rui would urge him to look for girls if he stayed, but he was really curious about how his steamed bun was going to test those socialites. In the end, his curiosity won out, and he decided to stay. Moreover, he could also broadcast it live for his brother and little Cici later. After seeing Qi Yingying, Lu Jingli was stunned for a moment. "Io, the first one was already a powerful character? Hello, big sister." Xiaobao greeted her sweetly when he saw her. When Qi Yingying heard the little fellow's obedient greeting, her tense nerves immediately relaxed a lot. "Hello, Xiaobao. My surname is Qi. We met at the banquet before." "Yes, I remember. You are Qi Shuai's sister." "Yes." Qi Yingying was overjoyed. She had flown into a rage when her little fatty had offended Xiaobao last time. However, she didn't expect that the two of them would get to know each other after a fight, and they got along well. "Big sister Qi, I'm going to start setting the question." "Okay." Qi Yingying subconsciously straightened her back. Chapter 1672. Lu Chongshan, Yan Rui, and Lu Jingli looked at Xiaobao nervously. Then Xiaobao blinked and asked, "Sister, can you sing?" Qi Yingying was stunned. "Yes." Xiaobao said happily. "That's great. Can you sing Little Jumping Frog for me? I like this song very much. I listen to it every night, or I won't be able to fall asleep." Qi Yingying was dumbfounded. Little Jumping Frog? What was that? No. The point was, wasn't Little Crown Prince a genius? Why did he ask her to sing a nursery rhyme for him? But if she really wanted to point out what was wrong, she couldn't say a single word. She was just a child who had just entered kindergarten. She wanted to listen to nursery rhymes to sleep at night, and hoped that her mother could also sing to her in the future. This was very normal. Lu Chongshan and Yan Rui were also very surprised that Xiaobao would ask such a question. But after thinking about it, they felt sorry for him. No matter how sensible he was still a child. Xiaobao's question was right. Sister Qi doesn't know how to sing? Xiaobao looked disappointed. Qi Yingying looked embarrassed. "Sorry, I really don't know this song." Xiaobao asked expectantly. "Then do you know other nursery rhymes, Sister Qi?" The little guy seemed to like her, and even gave her a second chance. Qi Yingying looked even worse. "Well, I don't know. I'm not good at this kind of song." She had received an elite education since she was a child, and didn't know anything about nursery rhymes. Even if she had heard 1 or 2 lines, it would be worse if she sang it with difficulty. She didn't expect Little Crown Prince to ask such a question. She wasn't prepared at all. Thus Qi Yingying, the talented girl from Harvard, was defeated by a song called Little Jumping Frog. Lu Jingli recalled the first time he heard Ningxi sing Little Jumping Frog to Xiaobao and felt very emotional. At first, He was amazed that his little bun liked such a childish nursery rhyme. Later, he was amazed that little Cece could sing nursery rhymes. As Lu Jingli thought about it, he added his brother and little Cece into a group, and then sent a message in the group. First, Qi Yingying has failed. Xiao Bao's topic was, sing the song Little Jumping Frog, are you guys fierce or not? Very quickly there was a reply in the group. Lu Tingxiao. Ningxi, you're the fierce one. My adorable baby is so cute. The two elders didn't have any objections to Qi Yingying's elimination. Instead, they started to coax little Bun. Xiaobao, don't be sad. There are still many older sisters behind you. Xiaobao will like them. Right. Xiaobao, let's continue. At this moment, when the young ladies outside saw Qi Yingying walking out with an ugly expression on her face, their hearts sank. Why does Qi Yingying look so pale? Eliminated? His face is as dark as that, that's for sure. It's over. Even Qi Yingying has been eliminated. Just how difficult are the questions? Number 2, Miss Song, please come in. After the second daughter came in, Xiaobao greeted her obediently as usual. Then he said, from now on, as long as Big Sister can make me speak within 10 minutes, Big Sister can pass. Chapter 1673. The Song family's eldest daughter, Song Yuyan, didn't know how to react. Make the little crown prince speak in 10 minutes? It's just making him speak. Even if it's just one word, isn't that too easy? Sister, let's begin. Little Bun politely reminded her. Then he maintained his posture and quietly sat on the sofa. Just as Song Yuyan was thinking about this, the moment the little fellow on the sofa finished speaking, the entire feeling he gave off changed. Just a moment ago, he was clearly an active and cute little Shota, but now it was as if there was an invisible barrier separating him from the outside world. It was as if he was in a completely different world. Seeing this, Song Yuyan's heart skipped a beat. She had originally prepared all sorts of things to tease the little fellow, but now, all of them were swallowed up by the child's pitch-black and cold eyes. Lu Jingli narrowed his eyes and sighed to himself. Little Bun really put a lot of thought into this. Cold sweat almost dripped down Song Yuyan's forehead. After hesitating for a long time, she finally asked, Xiaobao. Sister's family runs a chocolate factory. We have a lot of delicious chocolates. Can I take you to play next time? The little fellow's reaction was as if he hadn't heard her at all. To be more precise, the little fellow didn't intentionally avoid her. His eyes were actually looking at her, but it was clear that the person in front of him didn't enter his eyes at all. It was as if she wasn't the same as him, and he couldn't understand her language. Lu Chongshan and Yan Rui, who had been solemn ever since they heard Xiaobao's question, now had even more serious expressions on their faces. Xiaobao's current appearance was like a nightmare to them. As time passed, Song Yuyan probably wasn't good at interacting with children to begin with. In front of Xiaobao, she was even more nervous. Her clumsy conversational skills made the atmosphere more and more awkward. Time's up. Lu Jingli reminded her. 10 minutes finally passed. Song Yuyan's first reaction wasn't disappointment or sadness. Instead, she let out a long sigh of relief. It was finally over. She finally understood why Qi Yingying's expression was so ugly when she walked out. Big sister, do you need some more time? Xiaobao immediately turned into a refined and courteous little Shota, and spoke in a very easygoing manner. Previously, all the socialites, including Yan Rui and Lu Chongshan, thought that Xiaobao would make things difficult for them. But in reality, the little fellow was unexpectedly gentle. Without waiting for Song Yuyan to speak, the two elders hurriedly spoke one after another about Xiaobao's generosity. No, Xiaobao. The rules have already been set. If you change them, it won't count. Yan Rui was anxious. Alright, that's it. Lu Chongshan quickly settled down. They really didn't want to continue looking at Xiaobao's previous appearance. In fact, Xiaobao's previous appearance made the two of them feel uneasy. It was as if Xiaobao's normal and cheerful appearance was just an illusion, and if they were not careful, he would become like that again. That was something they absolutely did not want to see. Lu Chongshan and Yan Rui couldn't bear to continue after trying 2 girls. However, Xiaobao had already efficiently called in the third person. The third girl's style was different from the first two. The first two were socialites, but this one had short hair and was dressed in a neutral outfit. She looked clean, neat, and valiant, which made people's eyes light up. Chapter 1674. Lu Chongshan and Yen Rui subconsciously straightened their backs when they saw the girl who walked in. This girl was a collateral relative. Compared to the other girls, she was more lively, and it was said that she was quite skilled. Perhaps an extroverted girl like her could compliment Lil Bao? I'm Liang Yu, 23 years old this year. I like to work out, and I've practiced judo, taekwondo. The girl introduced herself simply. Hello, Sister Liang. Please wait a moment. Lil Bao greeted the girl, then turned to look at Lu Jingli, second uncle. I need your help with this question. Okay, no problem. How do I help? Lu Jingli replied straightforwardly. Lil Bao waved his hand, and Lu Jingli immediately strolled over happily, squatting down in front of Lil Bao according to his request. Then Lil Bao turned to look at the girl. Sister, my question is very simple. As Lil Bao spoke, he did a clean flying kick, which landed on Lu Jingli's temple. However, it was just a feint, and the kick did not really land. My question is, how should this move be countered? Lu Chongshan and Yen Rui looked at their precious grandson's handsome appearance, and their hearts were filled with pride. Liang Yu did not expect Lil Bao to ask such a question, but she had just said that she was good at these things, so it was not a problem for him to ask her what she was good at. Instead, it was very reasonable. Liang Yu deliberated over her words. This move, if there's enough strength, there's basically no way to counter it. At the temple, one kick will knock a person unconscious. Liang Yu muttered, but I can try. Lil Bao nodded. Okay, I'll let my second uncle spar with you, okay? Of course, thank you. Following that, Lu Jingli practiced with the girl more than 10 times, and the result was failure every single time. In the end, Liang Yu could only be eliminated. Jingli, isn't it a little unfair for a man like you to test a little girl? Seeing that 3 people were eliminated at once, and all of them were outstanding, Yen Rui was a little anxious. Lu Jingli immediately said helplessly, Mom, even if you don't know this, you should be able to tell that I didn't even use 10% of my strength just now, afraid that I would hurt a delicate girl like her. If she really has a skill, I'd be convinced. If she can't be cultured, at least she can use martial arts, right? But what she did was completely for show. If you don't have the ability, then don't set up a persona of good martial arts. Now that I've been exposed, is it still my fault? Lu Chongshan comforted himself. Forget it, let's move on to the next one. It's better for girls to be gentle and virtuous. After a short break, the 4th girl walked in. This time, the girl completely met Lu Chongshan's requirements. She was gentle, virtuous, and good at cooking. My question is, I want to eat the candied haws made by my sister. Is that okay? Xiaobao said. Hearing Xiaobao's question, the girl was stunned for a moment. Her culinary skills were not an exaggeration. She had indeed specially practiced cooking, and both Chinese and Western dishes were no problem for her. But, could candied hawthorn be considered a dish? The girl looked like she was in a difficult position. It was obvious that she would not do it. At this moment, Lu Chongshan and Yen Rui were completely on Xiaobao's side. They didn't think that there was anything wrong with Xiaobao's questions. Instead, they revealed disappointed expressions. Chapter 1675. Didn't they say she was a good cook? Why couldn't she make candied haws? They remembered that Ningxi had made candied haws for Xiaobao, and he had even sent some to the old mansion. Those candied haws were made into all kinds of beautiful and delicious, much better than those sold outside. When the 4th one was about to be eliminated, Xiaobao's expression suddenly changed. The little boy covered his stomach with his hand and looked in pain. Yen Rui noticed that something was wrong with Xiaobao and hurried over. Xiaobao, what's wrong? I'm fine. How can you be fine? Your face is so pale. Yen Rui was anxious. It's okay, Grandma, it's just a stomachache. Xiaobao comforted her, but soon, cold sweat broke out on his forehead. Why does he suddenly have a stomachache? Xingwu, get the car ready. Get the car ready to go to the hospital. The butler hesitated. What about the ladies outside? Let them disperse first. Seeing Xiaobao so uncomfortable that he was vomiting and convulsing, the two elders panicked and couldn't care less about anything else. Lu Jingli frowned. He quickly picked up Xiaobao and dashed out of the door like an arrow. At the capital hospital, Xiaobao was sent to the emergency room. Lu Chongshan and Yin Rui were anxious outside, and Lu Jingli hurried to inform his brother and Ningxi. Dad, Mom, don't be so nervous. Xiaobao's stomach is probably just uncomfortable. Lu Jingli was comforting them when the doctor finally came out. The two elders hurried over and asked, Doctor, how is the child? Don't worry, he's fine now, the doctor answered. Hearing this, Yin Rui finally calmed down. What the hell is going on? Why is he like this? Just as she was asking, they heard hurried footsteps behind them. Lu Tingxiao and Ningxi had arrived. Where's Xiaobao? How is he? Ningxi only had eyes for the little boy in the hospital bed. She ran over and grabbed Xiaobao's hand. The little boy's face was pale, and his lips were cracked from dehydration. Ningxi felt as if her heart was being pricked by needles. What happened? Lu Tingxiao asked. The doctor handed over a medical report. We've tested the child's vomit. There's a certain amount of toxins in the food, which can cause symptoms such as vomiting and diarrhea. Lu Chongshan and Yin Rui's expressions changed. Lu Jingli was a little surprised, but Lu Tingxiao's face was expressionless. What? Food poisoning? How was that possible? Xiaobao's diet has been, Yin Rui said with a frown. Xiaobao has been eating dinner at home these days. That girl prepared breakfast and lunch. Xiaobao didn't eat anything after he was picked up by Jingli this afternoon. He didn't even take a sip of water before he started. This meant that Xiaobao only ate Ningxi's cooking today. Yin Rui and Lu Chongshan both turned to look at Ningxi. Ningxi's entire body and mind were focused on Little Bun. When she heard this, her attention was slightly diverted. What? Xiaobao had food poisoning? And from what Yin Rui said, Xiaobao had only eaten her cooking today. Lu Chongshan's breathing was slightly ragged and his expression was extremely ugly. Tingxiao, it's up to you how to deal with this. Lu Tingxiao said expressionlessly. Deal with what? Chapter 1676. Lu Chongshan was exasperated. You bastard! Xiaobao is your son. How can you abandon your son for a woman? This woman did this to Xiaobao just to stop you from marrying someone else. Are you still going to cover up for her? On such an occasion, Xiaobao's accident had caused the tea party to be interrupted. Coupled with his inherent prejudice, Lu Chongshan naturally thought of Ningxi as the biggest beneficiary at the first moment. Yin Rui also thought of this. She looked at Ningxi coldly and stood next to Xiaobao vigilantly. Tingxiao, you have gone too far this time. Ningxi frowned and was about to speak when Lu Tingxiao gave her a reassuring look and looked at them calmly. Reason? Reason? Do I need a reason? Everyone knows what Sima Zhao is up to. According to you, Xiaoxi did this to stop the tea party, right? Lu Tingxiao asked. Lu Chongshan snorted. Isn't that the reason? Lu Tingxiao said. That's not true. Lu Chongshan took a deep breath. Tell me, why is it not true? Lu Tingxiao said. The tea party is a way for us to stall for time. Why did she stop it? Lu Chongshan. Yin Rui. The two of them were almost choked to death by Lu Tingxiao's calm and confident words. Lu Jingli's mouth twitched, and he tried to smooth things over. Dad, Mom, can you calm down? We haven't found out the truth yet. Isn't it inappropriate to convict him now? Maybe Xiaobao ate something else in school? Xiaobao never eats anything outside, Yin Rui said firmly. Lu Jingli could only say, fine, fine, fine. Even if Xiaobao only ate what my sister-in-law prepared, how can you be sure that someone didn't do anything to him? According to what you said, my sister-in-law did this to stop the blind date. So, can I also say that someone deliberately used this incident to frame my sister-in-law? Both of you have been bewitched by this woman. Lu Chongshan roared, and was about to continue when he heard a weak voice. Mom! Mom is here! Ningxi immediately held Xiaobao's hand. Xiaobao! Xiaobao, you're awake. Don't get up. Lie down properly. Lu Chongshan and Yen Rui had no time to be dissatisfied with Ningxi calling herself mom. They hurriedly ran to the bedside. Seeing the little fellow's weak appearance, they felt distressed. When Xiaobao saw his mother by his side, he revealed an incomparably relieved smile and rubbed his soft face against his mother's hand. Then Xiaobao looked at his grandpa and grandma and said apologetically, "Grandpa, Grandma, I'm so sorry. Xiaobao lied to you." Lu Chongshan and Yen Rui looked at each other before looking at their grandson. "Darling, what are you talking about? Did he lie to us?" Little Treasure nodded and enunciated each word with a serious expression. "I lied to you when I said I would seriously consider those big sisters. My real goal was to stall for time. I only have my mother in my heart. No matter how smart, outstanding, or beautiful she is, she's not my mother. I only want my mother. Besides, my mother is the best." Xiaobao. Ningxi was so touched that she didn't know what to say. Chapter 1677. Lu Chongshan and Yen Rui were speechless as they listened to their son's innocent words. Lu Jingli was almost moved to tears. He mumbled, "Dad, Mom, it's not that I want to criticize you, but sometimes you two are too stubborn. Especially Dad. Why do you always look at people with colored glasses? Although it's understandable that you're afraid of ropes for 10 years after being bitten by a snake, you can't blame everyone, can you? Shut up, you little brat. What do you know?" Lu Chongshan reprimanded his youngest son and looked at Lu Tingxiao. "Tingxiao, come out with me for a second." Lu Jingli immediately gave his brother a look that said, "Don't worry, I'm here." Lu Tingxiao touched Xiaobao's forehead and said to Ningxi, "I'm leaving for a while." "Okay." In the deserted corridor, Lu Chongshan's face darkened. "Tingxiao, are you the same as Jingli? Do you think that I'm stubborn and unreasonable?" Lu Tingxiao replied, "Yes." Lu Chongshan was speechless. Lu Chongshan was so angry that he almost couldn't breathe. "Father, you're worried, prejudiced, and dissatisfied with Ningxi because you're worried that I might cause the destruction of the entire Lu family if I make a mistake during this critical period," Lu Tingxiao said. In fact, Lu Chongshan and Yen Rui's attitude toward Ningxi had softened a lot. But because of this incident, their attitude suddenly became tense again. Therefore, resolving this matter was the root of the problem. Lu Chongshan's expression softened. "At least you're still rational." "I'll resolve everything in 7 days, Lu Tingxiao said. 7 days. Lu Chongshan was so angry that he almost laughed. Even though his son had always been his pride, it was too arrogant to settle such a powerful figure in 7 days. "Let's not talk about whether you can keep your promise. Even if everything is resolved, what are you going to say about what happened today? How are you going to prove that she wasn't the one who poisoned Xiaobao? I just asked Xingwu to investigate. There are surveillance cameras at home and at school. During this period of time, Xiaobao's meals were not touched by any suspicious person. The only one who could have done something was her. I don't need to say anything about the influence environment has on a person. You also understand. Let's not talk about what kind of personality she would have if she grew up in that kind of barren land. Back then, the Ning family would rather have an adopted daughter than acknowledge her. They even sent her to a faraway country. Don't you have any doubts? Other than the fact that she couldn't appear in public, was there an even worse truth behind it? In this circle there are countless cases like this. How can I not worry about Xiaobao's mother, the future mistress of the Lu family, being sent abroad just to cover up their shame? How can I not worry about Xiaobao's mother, the future mistress of the Lu family? Just based on the negligible blood relationship between her and the Zhuang family? Are you sure of her character and that she won't harm Xiaobao? This was what Lu Chongshan cared about the most. What happened today had obviously provoked his fragile nerves again, causing his long-suppressed dissatisfaction and worry to burst out. Lu Tingxiao said word by word. "First, I will fulfill my promise. Second, I will tell you the whole truth when the time comes. Third, as for father's concerns about Xiaoxi's character, time will reveal a person's true nature. You have always refused to understand her. How can you know what she really is based on your so-called speculation?" Lu Chongshan frowned and said nothing. After a long while he said, "Okay, you said I am biased, then I will give her a chance." Chapter 1678. In the ward. Seeing Xiaobao relying on Ningxi so much, Yanrui sighed softly. "Xiaobao, do you feel uncomfortable anywhere?" Xiaobao clung to Ningxi's arms and shook his head. As long as his mother was with him, he would be fine. Ningxi patted Xiaobao's back and coaxed him to sleep. Then she looked at Yanrui and said, "Mrs. Liu, I'll give you an explanation about Xiaobao's poisoning." When Yanrui heard this, she did not know what to say. She was also a mother. She could more or less tell if a woman was sincere to her child. However, there was no knowing what was in a man's heart. This concerned Xiaobao's safety, so she really did not dare to be careless. "Mom. What's wrong, baby?" "Sing." "Okay, Mom will sing for you. What do you want to hear?" "Little Frog." "Okay." When Lu Tingxiao came in, he saw the girl holding Xiaobao and humming softly. Yanrui looked at the two of them with a complicated expression. "Cece. Should be quiet. Xiaobao is asleep." Ningxi carefully put Xiaobao back on the bed and stood up. Out of the ward, Ningxi's face suddenly turned cold. Given how much the Lu family valued Xiaobao, they must have investigated it immediately. If the problem was not with the Lu family or the school, it might have happened when she was with him. Lu Tingxiao took the girl in his arms and a dark gleam flashed across his gentle eyes. "Don't blame yourself. It's not your fault. Have a good rest and focus on your work. I'll take care of everything." Ningxi seemed to be thinking of something. She looked a little absent-minded and nodded sullenly. "Okay." In the blink of an eye, 3 days had passed. Too many things had happened in just 3 days. After Song Lin, 3 more major shareholders of Lu's group had changed sides. Yunshin's shares had reached a terrible figure of 28%, and he had openly entered the board of directors of Lu Enterprises. He had won over a group of senior executives and shareholders who were dissatisfied with Lu Tingxiao's harsh rule, and had been dissatisfied with him. It had only been a few months since the other party had returned to the country, and he had madly purchased Lu Enterprises shares with a huge amount of wealth. It was like a sharp knife piercing into the heart of Lu Enterprises Group, causing the entire Lu Enterprises, and even the entire capital to be in a state of panic. When Lu Chongshan learned that even Qi Kaicheng, who had fought with him at the beginning, had betrayed Lu Enterprises and sold his shares to Yunshin after showing his loyalty to him, he was so angry that he got sick on the spot. Seeing that the situation was getting more and more serious, Yanrui's face was full of worry. Why would old Qi suddenly sell his shares behind our backs? Was it because of Yingying being eliminated at the tea party? But because of Xiaobao's accident, we had already cancelled the tea party. Lu Chongshan was breathing heavily and his fingers were trembling as he said, "Rui, go to the Guan family immediately. Remember to visit them more often. Some things that should be put on the agenda, should be put on the agenda. Go and tell Guan Rui that it's my idea." Although there were many candidates for the socialite position, there were only a few suitable ones. The Guan family was very powerful both at home and abroad, and Guan Ziao knew them best. She and Tingxiao had known each other since they were young and had a certain emotional foundation. In addition, Lu Chongyuan had been playing matchmaker, so Lu Chongshan was most inclined to the Guan family. Chapter 1679. Previously, at Mo Jianzhang's birthday banquet, the Guan family had secretly attacked Ningxi, which had caused a rift between him and the Guan family. But in the end, it didn't affect him too much. After all, it didn't affect his interests. Moreover, he was already very dissatisfied with Ningxi. Under such circumstances, his interests naturally drove him to make the most appropriate decision. He had already made a mistake once. He couldn't watch the Lu family be destroyed in his hands. "Chongshan, should we wait a little longer? Didn't Tingxiao say that he already has a solution?" Yanrui thought for a moment, and said hesitantly, "Solution? It's already been 3 days and all I can see is Lu Corporation on the brink of destruction. I can't bet the Lu Enterprises on his words. If it was in the past, I could still believe him, but now he's head over heels in love with that woman." Lu Chongshan said with a trembling voice, All right, I know. I'll go, don't get agitated. How many times has the doctor told you not to get angry? Yan Rui said helplessly. And the most important thing is, don't let that woman be alone with Xiaobao. I know what I'm doing, don't worry. At the same time, in a villa in the suburbs of the capital, Xiao Yi was alone in a dark room. The table in the middle of the room was lit with incense and candles, and there was a picture of a woman. The man stared at the picture on the table with a burning gaze, his expression dark. Lana, don't worry. I'll be able to avenge you soon. I'll make all of them pay the price. Dong dong dong. Someone knocked on the door. Xiao Yi immediately regained his cold expression. Come in. Feng Jin pushed the door open and hurriedly reported. Uncle Qiao, we've settled the matter with the Liang family. When Xiao Yi heard this, his eyes flashed and he nodded in satisfaction. Very good. Money could solve most of the problems in this world. And even if money couldn't shake things, there would definitely be a breakthrough. Because as long as one was human, there would definitely be a weakness. The Lu Corporation seemed to be an unshakable giant, but the bigger the corporation, the more problems there were hidden underneath. Once he uncovered the truth, there would be nothing left to hide. After Feng Jin reported the recent progress, he said hesitantly, But Uncle Qiao, isn't everything too fast, too smooth? Qiao Yi glanced at him and said, You overestimated Lu Corporation. We've prepared for so many years, and this is all we've got. Are you afraid? Uncle Qiao, you're right. Feng Jin Man nodded in agreement. Moreover, they had carefully considered every aspect, so it was impossible for them to make any mistakes. Lu Group CEO's office. Lu Tingxiao was in the middle of a discussion with Lu Jingli when Cheng Feng rushed over with a grave expression. Boss, I just received news that they went to see Director Liang in private last night. I'm afraid Director Liang is also. Lu Tingxiao had 30% of the shares, and Yinshan already had 28%. Once he obtained Director Liang's shares, his shares would surpass Lu Tingxiao's. Now the people's hearts were already unstable. If they continued to buy Lu Enterprises shares like crazy, the consequences would be unimaginable. Lu Jingli, who was standing to the side, remained silent. His expression was unusually solemn. Lu Tingxiao said in a low voice, Got it. You can go now. Yes. Cheng Feng replied and left with a worried expression. Chapter 1680. As soon as Cheng Feng left, Lu Jingli, who had a grave expression on his face, immediately smiled like a fox. Brother, we can finally close the net. Lu Tingxiao's eyes fell on the computer screen, and his slender fingers gently tapped on the cold and hard desktop. Unlike the gentleness he showed to Ning Shi, his face was cold and murderous at the moment. Lu Jingli sneaked a glance at the photos on Lu Tingxiao's computer screen and shivered. Bro, don't be so creepy. The other party has been purposely sending you these photos to force you to lose your cool. But who is my brother? Those guys are too naive to use such a small trick to mess you up. Not only was it useless, but it also made his brother's combat effectiveness and ferocity go off the charts. He had seen it once 5 years ago, and this time it was even crazier. One step after another, one pit after another, until the other party completely jumped into it. He was shocked from the beginning to the end. Moreover, little Cece is head over heels in love with you. How could she have any room for anyone else? Hearing this, Lu Tingxiao regained some of the human's expression. Lu Jingli took the opportunity to say, Then can I make my move now? Is that okay? Is it okay? Lu Tingxiao glanced at him. Wait for them to sign the contract with Liang Diyun. Oh, okay. Lu Jingli responded while secretly wiping the cold sweat on his forehead. Damn, that was too ruthless. He risked being overtaken by the shares to squeeze out the other party's last bit of flesh and blood. At this time, Lu Tingxiao's fingers that were lightly tapping on the table suddenly stopped, and he slightly raised his head. Time's up. Lu Jingli looked at the time on his phone. A moment later, in a secret industry under the Lu Enterprises, on the top of a green slope, Lu Jingli held a golf club in his hand and swung it out. Then he cheered. Oh my! I'm so lucky today. A hole-in-one. As soon as he finished speaking, he saw a tall, middle-aged man in casual clothes walking straight in their direction. Although the man was wearing casual clothes, His straight back and vigorous steps were obviously different from ordinary people. Zhuang Liaoyuan stopped in front of the two of them and asked directly, "Where are the items?" Lu Tingxiao handed over a thumb-sized chip. "It's all in here. It contains all the information on their underground arms trade." They were surrounded by a huge golf course, and there were only the three of them in sight, so they didn't have to worry about being eavesdropped. "Are you sure the source is reliable?" Zhuang Liaoyuan took the things with a serious expression. "I'm sure," Lu Tingxiao replied. Zhuang Liaoyuan hesitated for a moment but finally said, "All right, I will help you hand it over, but what the black cat will do, whether it will believe this information or not, is not within the scope of my authority, and I will not interfere." Lu Tingxiao, "Thank you." In fact, the fact that Zhuang Liaoyuan was willing to help him submit it was already a guarantee. Zhuang Liaoyuan put away the things, glanced at the man and changed the topic. "I heard that you've been on a blind date recently? I've already told Xiaoxi about the delaying plan," Lu Tingxiao said frankly. Zhuang Liaoyuan snorted. "Don't think the Zhuang family is dead. The reason why I don't intervene in this matter is that I don't want Xiaoxi to be with you." Chapter 1681. Zhuang Liaoyuan didn't hide his real intention. Although he was not satisfied with Lu Tingxiao, Xiaoxi liked him and was loyal to him. Now he was just an acquaintance to her, so it was not convenient for him to intervene. Seeing that the Lu family had made Cici suffer so much, although he couldn't stand it, he still hoped that this matter could make Cici think it through and leave this brat, so that he could find a better man for her. As for this time, he helped this brat because it was a matter of great importance. Since he knew about it, he couldn't ignore it. How could Lu Tingxiao not know what Zhuang Liaoyuan was thinking? He said unhurriedly, "Then I may disappoint you. When Xiaoxi and I get married, I hope that Major General Zhuang will come and support us." He sounded as if he and Ningxi would definitely be together. Zhuang Liaoyuan was speechless. He was so angry that he left with a dark face. After Zhuang Liaoyuan left, Lu Jingli clicked his tongue. "Really, why does Major General Zhuang not forget to poach your girl? You and little Cici's baby is already so big. Is it something that he can poach? Pull out the radish and bring out the mud." Well, this metaphor seems to be a bit inappropriate. Anyway, this is what I mean. The next night. In the end, Yan Rui was urged by Lu Chongshan to go to the Guan family. Xiao, your Aunt Lu is here. Come out, don't stay in the room. This girl has been staying in the room all day recently. I don't know what she is busy with," Mrs. Guan said as she led Yan Rui to the door of Guan Ziyao's room. "Aunt Lu." Guan Ziyao heard her mother's voice and hurriedly stood up and closed the book in her hand. However, Yan Rui had already seen the content of the book. It seemed to be a book about children's psychology. She glanced around Guan Ziyao's room and found that almost all the books scattered around were about children's education. Yan Rui picked up a book casually. "Ziyao, these books are?" Guan Ziyao was a little embarrassed. "Aunt Lu, it's nothing. Didn't I say I was taking this course? I was just reading." "Reading? How many days have you been staying in the room? I thought you were doing something. So this is what you were looking at?" Mother Guan said angrily. Guan Ziyao had a guilty look on her face. "It's because I'm not good at academics and caused a misunderstanding last time. I'm really sorry." Yan Rui was stunned when she heard that. She looked a little moved. "Child, it's been so long, and you still remember it. Auntie said it's not your fault. You didn't understand Xiao Bao's situation before." At this point, Yan Rui grabbed Guan Ziyao's hand and said, "Just reading books isn't enough. You need to spend more time with him. Once you spend more time with him, you'll naturally understand him. Don't you think so?" Guan Ziyao and Mrs. Guan looked at each other, clearly understanding what Yan Rui was implying. Yan Rui sighed. Xiao Bao is the only precious grandson in the Lu family. He hasn't had a mother by his side to take care of him since he was young, so it's inevitable that he's a little nervous. I hope Xiao can bear with him. Auntie Lu, what are you talking about? I quite like Xiao Bao. That child is really very likable, Guan Ziao said sincerely. Yan Rui revealed a gratified expression. Sigh, it's rare that you're on our Tingxiao's side at a time like this. You also know that a lot of things have happened to the Lu family recently. But with Tingxiao's ability, he'll definitely be able to resolve it. It's just a matter of time. Chapter 1682. Of course. I trust Tingxiao. Guan Ziao said immediately. Yin Rui nodded in satisfaction. She thought for a moment and said, but I'm still feeling uneasy, so I'm going to pray for blessings at Fahua Temple with Uncle Lu and Xiaobao this weekend. I wonder if you have the time, Ziao? If you do, why don't you come along? She was trying to create an opportunity for her to spend more time with Xiaobao. At the same time, she was going to pray with the two elders and the little prince, which was a form of recognition. Guan Ziao and Mrs. Guan looked at each other and nodded. Auntie Lu, I'm free. I don't have to go to the office this weekend. That's great. Yin Rui smiled and chatted with Guan Ziao for a long time. Guan Rui came back not long after Yin Rui left. Dad. You're back. Mrs. Guan walked over to take Guan Rui's jacket. I heard that Auntie Lu came today? Guan Rui asked his daughter. Guan Ziao nodded. Yeah, she came at night. She just left. What did she say? Mrs. Guan poured a cup of tea for her husband, looking displeased. What else could she say? She's here to offer an olive branch. How could she not be anxious when the Lu family is in such a state? Old Guan, are you sure it's okay for us to side with Lu Tingxiao now? I heard that the illegitimate son has more shares than Lu Tingxiao. Don't be naive. The shares are not absolute. Lu Tingxiao's biggest advantage is his prestige in Lu Enterprises. Moreover, besides what we see on the surface, Lu Tingxiao has many forces under the water that we can't see. Guan Rui said. That's right, Mom. Besides, Lu Tingxiao is the legitimate eldest son. That man is just an illegitimate son, Guan Ziao said. So you're saying that Lu Tingxiao will definitely win? Mrs. Guan asked. Guan Rui glanced at her. How is that possible? That illegitimate son can achieve so much in just a few months. How can he be an ordinary person? His background is even more terrifying than Lu Tingxiao's, but his foundation is unstable. He'll definitely be a formidable opponent in the future. It's still unknown if Lu Tingxiao can beat him. Mrs. Guan panicked. Then why are you still letting Ziao marry him? What if? Hearing this, Guan Ziao also frowned. Guan Rui said unhurriedly. When did I ask Ziao to marry him? What's the rush? Let's wait and see for now. Mrs. Guan was stunned for a moment, before she regained her composure. I understand. Then King Yin Rui invite Ziao to the Fahua Temple to pray this weekend? Mrs. Guan asked again. Go, why not? It's not a big deal, you can go. Guan Rui's intentions were clear. He wanted to keep the Lu family in suspense and act according to the circumstances. After all, they had never promised anything. Guan Ziao's eyes flickered, but she didn't say anything in the end and listened to her father's arrangement. The next day, which was the 5th day that Lu Tingxiao and Lu Chongshan had agreed to meet, the situation had reached its climax. Seeing that Lu Tingxiao was being forced back step by step, the originally stable members of the Grand Bachelor's Party could no longer sit still. It was obvious that the illegitimate son was a vicious and merciless person. If he didn't change his stance now, when he took over, all of them who were following Lu Tingxiao would definitely be targeted. Chapter 1683. However, Lu Tingxiao had accumulated his power for a long time. They weren't Lu Chongming, who had been exiled, and they weren't Song Lin, who was all alone. They also didn't have the guts like Qi Kaiqing and Liang Diyun to change sides at this time. The fate of those traitors 5 years ago was still fresh in their minds, and they were now in deep trouble. Alas, illegitimate children were indeed the culprits of the aristocratic families. Even the Lu family could not escape from it. Time passed in the blink of an eye. It was the 6th day. It was the weekend. Yin Rui had decided to go to the temple with her family the day before yesterday. She had wanted to ask Tingxiao and Jingli to go with her, but they were so busy with the company's situation that they had no time to do it. As the elders, they could only help. Xiaobao had recovered these days. Lu Chongshan heard that she had been to the Guan family and Guan Ziao had said that she would come with them this weekend, so he felt much better. The sun was shining brightly outside the window. It was a good day for going out. Yan Rui got up early in the morning and specially asked the kitchen to prepare vegetarian dishes for charity. Guan Ziao also arrived early. She was sitting on the sofa and talking to Xiaobao. Xiaobao did not deliberately make things difficult for her, but his attitude was obviously distant. Yan Rui walked out of the kitchen and saw Xiaobao looking out the door. She asked suspiciously, "Xiaobao, what are you looking at?" "Nothing." Xiaobao looked away. After everything was ready, Yan Rui, Lu Chongshan, Guan Ziao and Xiaobao went out together. After going out, Xiaobao pursed his thin lips and looked into the distance. He did not look too good. Yan Rui and Lu Chongshan asked him questions, but he was absent-minded. When he was about to get into the car, there was a sudden squeaking sound of brakes. A white sports car drifted and stopped outside the old house. Soon, a girl quickly opened the door and got out of the car. Then she ran to Xiaobao anxiously and held him in her arms. "Xiaobao." "Mummy," Xiaobao's face, which had been tense all morning, burst into a big smile when he saw Ningxi. Ningxi looked him up and down carefully, and a trace of suspicion flashed across her face. "Baby, where does it hurt? Where do you feel uncomfortable?" Xiaobao blinked his eyes guiltily, lowered his head, and said in a low voice, "Mom, I'm sorry. Xiaobao lied to you. Xiaobao is fine. It doesn't hurt anywhere, nor is there any discomfort." "That's good, that's good." Ningxi's first reaction was to heave a sigh of relief. Then she had the extra energy to look at the three people behind Xiaobao. With just one glance, Ningxi roughly knew why Xiaobao had lured her here. Xiaobao held Ningxi's hand tightly and walked up to Lu Chongshan and Yan Rui. He looked at Lu Chongshan and said, "Grandpa, you promised. You taught me that a man should keep his word." When Lu Chongshan saw that Ningxi actually came to disturb him at this time, he was originally angry, but after hearing Xiaobao's words, he was immediately speechless. He did promise Tingxiao that he would give Ningxi a chance, but how did Xiaobao find out? That brat! He only knew how to use Xiaobao to deal with him. Lu Chongshan furrowed his brows. Looking at his precious grandson's determined expression, he knew that if he were to take a hard stance, Xiaobao would definitely be hurt, and today's matter would be completely ruined. Moreover, wasting time to pray was not a good omen. Chapter 1684. Guan Ziyao clenched her fists when she saw how protective Xiaobao was towards Ningxi and even secretly called Ningxi over. She took a deep breath and said generously, "Uncle Lu, Auntie Lu, let Ningxi go with us. It doesn't matter if there's one more person." She spoke as if she was the owner. Lu Chongshan gave Ningxi a warning look. "Then let's go together." Then he looked at Xiaobao lovingly. "Xiaobao, is this okay? Grandpa will keep his promise." Xiaobao nodded, satisfied. Then he looked at Ningxi nervously. "Mom, I'm sorry. Xiaobao knows he's wrong. Can Mom come with us?" Ningxi didn't care about Lu Chongshan, Yan Rui or Guan Ziyao's attitude. She only cared about Xiaobao. Ningxi looked at the little guy helplessly. How could she refuse any request of her baby? "Okay, Mom will go with us. But don't do this next time. Do you know how worried I was?" "Got it, Mom. Mom is the best." Xiaobao was getting better at acting coquettishly, and Ningxi couldn't do anything to him. Ningxi called herself Mom because she was used to it. But in Guan Ziyao's ears, it was no less than a provocation and her eyes turned colder. After a short while, the five of them got into the car and drove towards Fahua Temple. The Lincoln stretch limousine was very spacious. Xiaobao, Ningxi and Lu Chongshan sat on one side, while Guan Ziyao and Yan Rui sat opposite. Ningxi didn't have time to dress up because she had come in a hurry. While she was worrying, Xiaobao had already taken out a mask, sunglasses and even a wig from his little backpack. Ningxi didn't know whether to laugh or cry. "Little rascal, you've been planning this for a long time. This is the inconvenience of being a star. It's too troublesome to go out," Guan Ziyao said. She seemed to be sighing, but she was just reminding Ningxi of her profession and identity. As expected, As soon as he finished speaking, Lu Chongshan frowned. Yes, it's too troublesome. Xiaobao nodded solemnly. Guan Ziya was delighted to hear that. The next second, she saw Xiaobao sticking to Ningxi's arms, raising his little head and muttering unhappily. I hate it when so many people like Mommy. Mummy belongs to me alone. After saying that, the little fellow secretly winked at his mother, saying, Mom, don't worry. Dad is not here. I will protect Mom on his behalf. Seeing Xiaobao's protective look, Ningxi felt touched and amused. She tapped his nose and said, So what? No matter how many people like Mommy, Mommy only likes you. Xiaobao was soothed, and his smile was even more dazzling than the sunlight outside the car window. Lu Chongshan snorted coldly in his heart. Flowery words, even though the scene before him was what he wanted to see the most. He hoped that Xiaobao would have someone to take care of him, chat with him, and make him happy. But why did it have to be this scheming woman? Along the way, they finally arrived at the Fahua Temple. The monastery's courtyard was deep and filled with old trees. It was very quiet, and the moment one stepped in, it made one feel as if their entire heart had calmed down. The last time she was here, it was Shi Shiqing who wanted to become a monk, so she came to persuade him. Oh, at that time, Master Xianjing even did a divination for her. In the end, he gave her a peach blossom, hinting that she would have a peach blossom tribulation. Chapter 1685. The five of them bought incense sticks outside, and came to the hall to pray one by one. Ningxi carefully lit the incense for Xiaobao and taught him how to kneel. Xiaobao lit a stick of incense, and then knelt on the futon very devoutly. He closed his eyes and made a wish seriously. Ningxi looked at Xiaobao's devout look and asked with a smile, Xiaobao, what did you wish for? It was rare that the little guy didn't answer Ningxi. He said seriously, You can't say it. It won't work if you say it. Okay. Ningxi chuckled. But I'm really curious. What is Xiaobao's wish? Xiaobao pursed his lips, looked up at his mother, and then at the Buddha statue in front of him. He silently repeated his wish in his heart. I hope that my mother can be my mother forever. Buddha, forgive me for being greedy. If possible, I have another wish. I also hope that if I was born by my mother, that would be great. Buddha, please bless our Lu family to get through this great calamity. Yan Rui prayed anxiously and then murmured, I hope Tingxiao can get married soon. Ningxi also knelt, but then she got up and didn't pray for anything. She believed in Lu Tingxiao and there was nothing to pray for. Lu Chongshan donated a golden Buddha statue. The little monk put his palms together gratefully and said, Ba, benefactor, you are so kind. Thank you, benefactor Lu, for your donation. Lu Chongshan put his palms together and replied, Ba. Then he asked, Is Master Xianjing in the temple today? Is he free? I have something to trouble you with today. The little monk said, Master is in seclusion and can't see you. I'm sorry. It's okay. I understand. Thank you. Lu Chongshan looked regretful. He wanted to ask Master Xianjing if there was any solution to the Lu family's problem. Sigh, he had actually reached the point of asking Buddha for help. Although they didn't see Master Xianjing, they didn't leave immediately. In order to show their sincerity, they kept chanting and copying scriptures in the temple. They didn't leave the temple until the sun set. The black car drove quietly. After being out for a whole day, Little Bao yawned and fell asleep in Ningxi's arms. Ningxi was infected by Little Bao's sleepiness, and also felt a little drowsy. As for the other three, they all had different thoughts, but they were obviously not sleepy at all. Ningxi, let me carry Xiaobao. Yan Rui took Xiaobao from Ningxi's hands. Ningxi reluctantly let go. After leaving her mother's embrace, the little bun frowned uneasily, and was carried away by Yan Rui. Xiao, let's have dinner at home tonight. Yan Rui invited Guan Xiao intimately. Ningxi suddenly appeared today, and was so close to Xiaobao. She was inevitably worried that Guan Xiao would feel uncomfortable. Let's eat at home. Let's get together as a family today. Lu Chongshan immediately decided. Intentionally or unintentionally, the two directly ignored Ningxi's existence, not mentioning her at all. Lu Chongshan's face darkened. He did not believe that this woman would still be thick-skinned enough to use Xiaobao as an excuse to stay after what he had said at this moment. Ningxi, who was resting with her eyes closed, suddenly opened her eyes, and a cold light flashed in her eyes. Be careful. Almost at the instant she said that, accompanied by a bone-chilling bang, their car was violently hit. Chapter 1686. Ah! Yan Rui and Guan Ziao screamed in the car. The first thing Ningxi did was check on Xiaobao. However, the moment she saw him, she was devastated. The car door had been opened at some point in time, and a black figure flashed past at an extremely fast speed. He snatched the sleeping Xiaobao away from the panicking Yan Rui. Ningxi's eyes were red. She rushed past Yan Rui at the fastest speed in her life, but she only touched the corner of Xiaobao's clothes. Ah! Oh my God! Xiaobao. Yan Rui finally came to her senses and screamed on the verge of collapse. Ningxi had already caught up with the man and fought with him. As soon as they started fighting, Ningxi's heart sank. That was a professional mercenary, definitely not an ordinary person. Moreover, that man was holding Xiaobao in his arms. Ningxi was afraid of hurting him, so she fell into a stalemate. Too many things had happened during this period of time, and Ningxi had been feeling uneasy, so she had been desperately practicing martial arts. In addition, it was related to Xiaobao, so her martial arts suddenly soared to the extreme. Finally, she was about to get Xiaobao back from that man. However, at this moment, another person suddenly attacked her from the side, and every move was overbearing and fierce, aiming at her vital point. The opponent was a man, so he had a natural advantage in strength. A flying kick broke through the air, wrapped with extremely terrifying force. If this kick landed on the temple, it would be a small matter to faint, and it was possible to directly kick the person to death. Seeing this scene, Yan Rui's body swayed, and she subconsciously let out a cry. At the moment when the killer move came, Ningxi combined her hands and grabbed the man's ankle, cushioning the man's attack. Then her hands twisted the man's leg like a sharp knife, turning it 360 degrees until it was twisted and pressed on the ground, and then she kicked the man's dantian. Ouch! The man let out a muffled groan, and then rolled on the ground in pain. Ningxi didn't entangle with him anymore, and instantly chased after another man. Fuck! The man holding Xiaobao cursed in a low voice, and his eyes were full of murderous intent, full of fierceness. Stop! If you dare to. However, before he could finish speaking, the other party had already closed in on him like a ghost. Following that, a piercing pain came from his elbow and kneecap at the same time, as though his bones were being crushed. The man immediately cried out in pain and knelt down with a thud. Ningxi seized the opportunity, grabbed Xiaobao, and quickly ran in the direction of the car behind her. She was only a few steps away and had just run to the front of the car, but the two mercenaries behind her had already caught up. One of them grabbed Ningxi's shoulder like an eagle's claw, stopping her from moving forward. She couldn't move, and Xiaobao was about to be taken away. At this moment, Guan Ziao was the closest to her and was standing next to the driver's seat, so Ningxi decisively stuffed Xiaobao into Guan Ziao's hand and shouted, "Drive! Let's go!" After saying that, he turned around and stopped the two men, hoping to stall for time. As long as they got into the car, they would be safe. The security facilities of this car were very complete. If the driver hadn't betrayed them and opened the door, they wouldn't have been able to take Xiaobao away so easily. Ningxi was thinking about this, and after seeing Guan Ziao from the corner of her eye, her pupils suddenly contracted. Guan Ziao seemed to be scared out of her wits, but her face was full of panic. After hearing her urging, she took Xiaobao and stood there motionless, missing the best time to escape. Chapter 1687. In just a few seconds, one of the men had broken through her obstruction, rushed over with a grim face, and snatched Xiaobao from Guan Ziao's hands. At the same time, a huge roar sounded not far away, rolling up the dust and sand. A helicopter hovered in the air and slowly landed. From the helicopter, 3 mercenaries wearing the same uniforms and special masks as these two men jumped down at an extremely fast speed. each with a weapon in their hands. Ningxi felt cold all over, and her heart fell to the bottom. It's over. Seeing that Xiaobao was almost rescued, only to be snatched away again, Yanrui could no longer hold on. Her entire body was trembling, and her face was covered in sweat. She held on to Lu Chongshan's arm and barely managed to stand. All she knew was to repeatedly mutter, "Xiaobao, save Xiaobao." Lu Chongshan threw away the unresponsive walkie-talkie in his hand with a gloomy face, and said to those people sternly, "Who are you? Put down the child, and you can ask for anything you want." One of them had the letter K engraved on his mask, and it seemed that he was the leader. He glanced coldly at his two subordinates who had almost failed. He didn't even look at Lu Chongshan, only giving him a cold look. Then he raised his hand and everyone boarded the plane. With the loud roar of the propeller, the helicopter slowly rose into the air. Seeing that Xiaobao was taken on the helicopter, Yanrui staggered to chase after them. "Xiaobao! Aunt Lu, be careful!" Guanxiao hurriedly supported Yanrui, who was about to faint at any time. Seeing Xiaobao being taken away, Lu Chongshan's face turned pale. He covered his chest with his hand, feeling dizzy, and everything went black. "Baby, don't be afraid. Mom won't let you be alone." However, at this moment, Lu Chongshan seemed to vaguely hear Ningxi's mumbling. In the next second, the girl's body was like a fully drawn bow. The moment the door of the helicopter closed, she leaped up and jumped over. She used her fingers to grab the bottom of the door and forcefully flipped into the helicopter. After Ningxi got in, the helicopter shook violently, twisted and turned in the air, and then gradually flew away until it disappeared from sight. Yanrui fell to the ground with a pale face. Guanxiao stood aside anxiously, and Lu Chongshan was still staring blankly at the empty space above his head. "Master! Old madam! Are you guys okay?" A cry of alarm came from the side. Xingwu limped over, clutching his bleeding arm. "What's wrong with you guys? Where is he? So many people followed him out. Where did they all go? Do you know that Xiaobao has been kidnapped?" Yanrui found a way to vent and finally broke down and roared. No, this wasn't kidnapping. This was kidnapping right in front of them." What? The young master has been kidnapped." Xingwu didn't expect the situation to be worse than he had imagined. His face paled and he knelt down. "This subordinate deserves to die. The people we were protecting were all ambushed at the same time. The enemy seemed to know our route, and the location of the people we were protecting in secret." "Shut up, I don't want to hear your excuses." Lu Chongshan interrupted him. Ever since Xiaobao was kidnapped once, the Lu family's security system had been upgraded. But now, Xiaobao had been kidnapped right under his nose. There was no one by his side and the only person who could stop him was that woman. Chapter 1688. Tingxiao. Chongshan, tell Tingxiao. Hurry up and let him save Xiaobao. Yanrui hurriedly urged. After a while she added, "And that girl." Yanrui closed her eyes and said in a trembling voice, Fortunately, Xiaobao is not alone this time. With that girl, at least Xiaobao won't be so scared. I can't imagine what would have happened if Xiaobao had been alone." Yanrui's tears rolled down her cheeks, thinking that they had made Xiaobao suffer like this again. And what kind of psychological trauma Xiaobao would suffer if Ningxi didn't follow them? She wanted to kill herself. "It's me. It's all my fault. I didn't protect Xiaobao well. Why didn't I hold Xiaobao tightly? Why did I take Xiaobao from Ningxi? If Ningxi had been the one holding Xiaobao." Yanrui was drowning in self-blame. Lu Chongshan did not say anything, but his mood was no better than Yanrui's. If he was not in a hurry to settle the matter with the Guan clan, he would not have come to Fahua Temple today, nor would he have given the other party an opportunity to take advantage of him. Guanxiao helped Yanrui up carefully. "Auntie Lu, don't blame yourself anymore. How could it be your fault in that situation? It's my fault for not being able to react in time and driving Xiaobao away in time. Master, madam, we can't stay here for long. Let's go back and think about it. Every second we delay now will put the young master in more danger." Xingwu hurriedly reminded. "Go back. Hurry." On the way, Lu Chongshan couldn't get through to Lu Tingxiao's phone, So he asked Xingwu to drive him to the company. When they got out of the car in the underground parking lot, they bumped into Cheng Feng, Lu Tingxiao's assistant. Cheng Feng pushed the door open and got out of the car in a hurry. He was talking on the phone with a smile on his face. He looked very excited. Cheng Feng. Lu Chongshan stopped him immediately. Cheng Feng hung up and looked at Lu Chongshan, Yan Rui and Guan Ziao in surprise. Chairman? Madam? It's so late. Why are you here? Where's Tingxiao? Why didn't he answer the phone? Yan Rui asked. Boss Lu must be busy right now. Cheng Feng looked at Lu Chongshan excitedly and reported. Chairman, Elon Ventures is doomed this time. What did you say? Lu Chongshan was startled. There's a problem with a big order that Elon Ventures is running right now. All the goods don't meet the delivery requirements, so they have to pay a huge penalty. However, the other party has used all their money to buy Lu Enterprises shares, so they don't have that much liquidity right now. If they want to protect Elon, they have to sell off their shares in the Lu Group. You have to know that these shares were bought at double the price. Now that they are short of money, if they sell them off at a low price, even if they protect Elon Ventures, they will definitely suffer heavy losses. Most importantly, this will remove the threat to our Lu Group. And Chairman, look at these stocks. Cheng Feng quickly clicked on a few of Elon Venture Capital's main investment stocks on his iPad. They were initially bullish stocks that were rising rapidly, but now they were all falling rapidly. Chapter 1689. Cheng Feng looked at the movements of those stocks and continued to explain to Lu Chongshan. Boss actually formed a special team half a year ago, and all of them are top traders from Wall Street. Right now, Boss is personally leading this team to trade. If there are no accidents, it will only take one night for Elon to hit the daily limit tomorrow morning. When that time comes, everyone will dump Elon in large quantities. Cheng Feng continued to talk about how Lu Tingxiao laid out the net step by step and prepared for a rainy day with a face full of admiration. Lu Chongshan looked at the few stocks on the iPad and was stunned. He did not say a word for a long time. 7 days. The time that Tingxiao promised him was 7 days, and now, it was the night of the 6th day. That child, he really did it. No wonder. No wonder Xiao Bao was suddenly kidnapped. So it was because he was cornered. Chairman, what's wrong? And Madam. Cheng Feng finally noticed that there was something wrong with their expressions. Today, Uncle Lu, Auntie Lu and I brought Xiao Bao to the temple to pray. We didn't expect to meet a group of kidnappers on the way and kidnapped Xiao Bao. Guan Ziao explained. At the same time, the light in her eyes disappeared. She knew that the man she fancied wasn't that weak. No wonder Xiao Bao was kidnapped. It was most likely done by the illegitimate son's people. Those people weren't kind, and would do anything if they were forced into a corner. And this time it wasn't just Xiao Bao. That woman also delivered herself to him. Everything that she had been worried about had actually been resolved tonight. What did you say? Xiao Bao. Xiao Bao was kidnapped. How is that possible? Cheng Feng was so shocked that his expression changed. What's impossible? Xiao Bao was kidnapped right in front of us. Don't waste any more time. Hurry and inform Tingxiao. Yan Rui urged. This. When Cheng Feng heard this, he was about to agree, but he seemed to have thought of something and hesitated. Before Cheng Feng could speak, Lu Chongshan stopped him. Wait. We can't tell Tingxiao now. What did you say? Yan Rui looked at her husband in disbelief. Why can't we tell Tingxiao? It's already at this time. Lu Chongshan said in a deep voice. Elon Ventures must be fighting back by now. Tonight's stock market trading is extremely important, and Tingxiao must not be affected in any way. Otherwise, if he makes the slightest mistake, all his efforts will go to waste. Why do you think the other party would suddenly go to such lengths to kidnap Xiao Bao? It's to disturb Tingxiao's mind. Yan Rui's lips trembled as she stared at the man in front of her, as though she didn't know him at all. Lu Chongshan, do you know what you're saying? The one who was kidnapped was Xiao Bao. He's your grandson. You keep saying that you sacrificed so much for the greater good of the Lu clan and suffered so much. And now, you're going to sacrifice Xiao Bao's life as well? Do you still have a heart? Lu Chongshan frowned. Rui, that's not what I meant. When did I say that I wanted to sacrifice Lil Bao's life? I've already informed everyone to search for traces of that group of people. Moreover, those people will definitely come to us and ask for our lives. At that time we'll... Enough! Lu Chongshan. You don't have to give me any more lectures. I only know that in your eyes, the Lu clan is more important than Xiaobao's life. Yan Rui roared uncontrollably. Chapter 1690. Guan Ziyao said gently, Auntie Lu, calm down. What Uncle Lu said makes sense. If we tell Tingxiao now, we'll be falling into their trap. What if they get what they want and don't let Xiaobao go? You shut up too. Yan Rui's heart was filled with thoughts of Xiaobao being in danger. She scolded her mercilessly. Guan Ziyao had never been scolded by Yan Rui like this before. Her face turned pale and she kept quiet. Lu Chongshan, you're not going to tell me? Fine. I'll go find Tingxiao myself. Yan Rui pushed the person beside her away and quickly walked towards the elevator. Just as she reached the elevator, Yan Rui's body swayed and she fainted without any warning and fell to the ground. She had suffered too much today. Being able to hold on until now was already her limit. At this moment, she finally couldn't hold on any longer. Rui! Auntie Lu! Madam! The three of them rushed over to help her up. Chairman, this. Cheng Feng was panicking. Call the doctor immediately. Lu Chongshan said anxiously. Then should we tell the boss about the young master? Cheng Feng asked. Lu Chongshan's hands trembled nervously. He closed his eyes and after a long time he finally said, Don't tell Tingxiao yet, but after 12 tonight, if Xiaobao still can't be saved. Lu Chongshan sighed and said, No matter what the situation is here, you must tell Tingxiao immediately. Cheng Feng nodded. Yes, I understand. Lu Chongshan looked at the unconscious Yan Rui as he listened to her complaints. His heart was aching. He had watched Xiaobao grow up. He could still remember the excitement he felt when he first saw the little fellow. He could still remember the soft touch when he held the little fellow in his arms. Then he watched him grow up day by day, becoming smarter and cuter. Now he was even more obedient, sensible and filial. That was his grandson, his life. How could he not be nervous? How could he not be heartbroken? He would rather be the one being kidnapped right now. However, this concerned the survival of the entire Lu family. Everything happened because of him. He couldn't ignore everything. Waiting until 12 tonight was the only way he could come up with. Not long ago. Elon Ventures building. In the dark office, the fluorescent light from the computer screen shone on the man's gloomy face and cold white hair. He was looking at a series of photos, all of which were pictures of Ning Shi and Lu Tingxiao getting along warmly. There were also photos of the family of three with little Bun. They were all taken, but they were extremely realistic. He could feel the love in the girl's eyes through the photos. The email page was opened, and it showed that the sender was not anonymous, but directly stated, Lu Jingli. Without a doubt, this was in line with Lu Jingli's personality. His brother was provoked by those photos every day, so he naturally wanted to give him a taste of his own medicine. Who's afraid of who? Boss, no. Bad news. Suddenly, someone pushed open the door and rushed in. What did you call me? The man looked up at her. President. Mr. President. Not good. There's a problem with our deal with Jiaxing Bank, and now we need to pay 3 billion USD. Just pay for it. But, there's no more money. That you're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.